Today's ceremony is a once-in-a-lifetime event. We encourage you to come forward and take pictures or videos when your loved one is presented an award or their wings. For your planning purposes, the wings are presented by rank and then alphabetical order.
Please stand for the entrance of the official party and remain standing for the national anthems of Saudi Arabia, Vietnam, and the United States, followed by the invocation given by Chaplain Christopher Gilmore.
I would invite you to pray in your tradition as I pray in mine, or you may simply observe a moment of silence. Let's pray. Dear Lord, I am personally very grateful for the immense privilege it is to come before you now. I'm here before you today, along with so many here, to celebrate the hard work and dedication of these graduates of Class 2508. Thank you, God, that they are joined by not only their fellow pilots, but family members and friends. Thank you that by your great and mighty hand, you have been guiding them every step of the way in their journey. Today, in these moments, as we are reflecting on and celebrating this milestone, I ask that you would give them clear minds and settled hearts. Clear minds to recall all the loved ones, fellow students, instructors, and commanders who helped get them here. Clear minds to see tomorrow and every day after through the lens of the joy of their accomplishments. And for settled hearts to be able to feel what they know, that the kind of camaraderie and growth found in the Air Force and its allies and their cultures is second to none. I do ask that in your amazing and divine power that you would lift up these pilots in a way that causes them to become the greatest leaders the Air Force has ever seen. Use them mightily in their upcoming classes and in their careers so that we are better equipped to engage the threats we face as a nation. Help these pilots to be the kind of officers that lead by example in their professional and in their personal lives. In their personal lives, God, I ask that you would help them to strive for the ability to be the kind of individual who's contributing to a healthy home and not making that a secondary practice. Help them to be truly present when they are with their loved ones, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Help them to aim towards finding a healthy balance of being an excellent officer and a father or mother, a husband or wife, a brother or sister. Thank you, God, for the great privilege of being able to come here and celebrate with them. And thank you, God, for who you've made them all to be. I pray these things in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Gilmore. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Today, 29 officers will receive their wings. On behalf of Colonel Charles Throckmorton IV, Commander 71st Flying Training Wing, I would like to welcome the families and friends of Class 2508, as well as several members of Team Vance, including squadron commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, spouses, and our ASRC and Amentum contractors.
We are honored to have the following guests from our civil and wing leadership here to support the graduates. The Mayor, City of Enid, the Honorable David Mason and his spouse, Melanie. The Command Chief, 71st Flying Training Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Harvey McReynolds Jr. and his spouse, Master Sergeant Christine McReynolds. The Commander, 71st Operations Group, Colonel Eric Bissonette. Representing the Senior Enlisted Leader, 71st Operations Group, Master Sergeant Austin Wyman. Representing the Commander, 71st Mission Support Group, Lieutenant Colonel Dane McCreary. The Senior Enlisted Leader, 71st Mission Support Group, Chief Master Sergeant Adam Bearclaw. The Commander, 71st Medical Group, Colonel John DeLumba. Representing the Senior Enlisted Leader, 71st Medical Group, Master Sergeant Christopher Badger. Representing the Airmen of Team Vance, Airman First Class Layla Grimaldi. We are also honored to have the following distinguished visitors as special guests of Class 2508. Please stand or wave your hand to be recognized. On behalf of Second Lieutenant Thomas Ledette, Colonel Christian Ledette, United States Air Force retired, and his spouse Tracy. On behalf of Second Lieutenant Casey Ayer and a Vance graduate of UPT Class 9913, Lieutenant Colonel Chris Ayer, United States Air Force retired, and his spouse Amy. Vance graduate from UPT Class 9506, Lieutenant Colonel Jeff Backen, United States Air Force. On behalf of Second Lieutenant Eric Wyatt and a Vance graduate from UPT Class 8904, Major Barbara Wyatt, United States Air Force retired, and her spouse Gregory. On behalf of Second Lieutenant Trenton Turner, Chief Master Sergeant Tarek Turner, United States Air Force, and his spouse, Alyssa.
We would also like to give a warm welcome to our guest speaker, Brigadier General Brett Paola, Mobilization Assistant to the Commander, Alaskan North American Aerospace Defense Command Region, Commander Alaskan Command, and Commander 11th Air Force Pacific Air Force Joint Base Elmendorf, Richardson, Alaska. And the Commander, 71st Flying Training Wing, Colonel Charles Throckmorton IV. Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Throckmorton.
All right, good morning, everybody. How we doing? It's graduation Friday, and we got a full house here in Enid, America, so it's a great day. So thank you all for being here. Mayor, Miss Melanie, thank you always for being here and sharing these days with us. We love having you here, and you know that. To my brothers and sisters of Team Vance, thank you for being here and for all you've done to make this graduation possible for these graduates today. I'd also like to welcome our fellow service members and veterans that are in the crowd. And I'd like to give a special welcome to Colonel Ledette and Miss Tracy, Lieutenant Colonel Air, Vance alumni, and Miss Amy, Lieutenant Colonel Bakken, also a Vance alumni, Major Wyatt, and Mr. Gregory, also Vance alumni. Thank you. And of course, Chief Turner and Miss Alyssa. For our Vance graduates, thank you for coming home. We're glad you're back on base. If you want to jump in the sim, let us know. We'll put you through. You know, it's just a quick profile. We can put you right on the line. For everyone else, thank you for being here and sharing this special day with us. To all the friends and family of Class 2508, welcome to today's ceremony. You provided your graduates the moral compass, the principles, but most importantly, the work ethic to make it through this demanding program. Thank you for everything you've done and for being here to share this moment with them. To provide you a little context, Vance is one of 4 bases in the United States Air Force whose primary mission is to conduct undergraduate pilot training. And just for the record and not up for debate, we're the best at it. Our mission is to prepare and deliver highly qualified aviators for follow-on training in a variety of aircraft for our Air Force and for those of our partner nations represented here today. Vance has been delivering world-class pilots since 1941 and has delivered more than 38,000 graduates, to include some notables. 2 Medal of Honor recipients, a World War II P-51 ace, 7 astronauts, more than 200 general officers, including one over to my left, the 15th Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Richard Myers, and 2 notable first assignment instructor pilots, General Ronald Fogelman, who rose to be the Air Force Chief of Staff, and Colonel Eileen Collins, who went on to be a Space Shuttle commander. Class, make no mistake, you're graduating on sacred ground, and Air Force heroes have walked these halls and learned to fly with the VN on the tail flash. I know you will follow in their footsteps and make us all Vance proud. Now, in the seats next to you are your fellow airmen and friends, and hopefully you formed a special bond. You've worked hard, you've had some fun, and in the end, you've made it here to graduate and become pilots in the United States Air Force. You've experienced the wonder of flight, and you know what it means to accomplish something extremely difficult. Most importantly, you understand the support system it takes to get you in the air goes well beyond yourself. It requires an entire team. Now, we're so close to the moment you've all been waiting for, and my favorite part of the job, but I have just a few more thoughts for your consideration. We expect you to be competent, credible combat aviators, while also never forgetting your expectation to be competent, credible combat officers. You've learned a skill set which you will continue to refine for the rest of your career. Don't ever lose your love of aviation or flight, but the charge ahead of you is to be the officer and aviator that our country needs. During your time in the Air Force, your base of assignment will change, your aircraft may change, but taking care of your Air Force family will never change. Now, today we're celebrating the folks in the front row, but it takes a total team of effort to get them to this day. And I'm very proud of all of Team Vance and their combined efforts for Class 2508. We pour a ton of resources in them, in each of these men and women, and we invest well over $1 million into each of them to turn them into the next generation of Air Force leaders and aviators. However, money alone will not get them across the line. It takes a joint effort of over 2,600 airmen, government civilians, contract partners that make up Team Vance. Whether supporting, generating, or executing the flying mission, all have played a vital role in this class. Among that group, I'd like to select three and to talk about those today. The first is our instructor pilots. And as you look around this room, there's not many of them here. That's because they're already out on the line flying with the next class overhead right now. They've poured their heart and soul into these young men and women to turn them into aviators and to get to them just today. And we couldn't be more proud of them, and I'd like to offer them a round of applause. The second is our group of amazing professionals who maintain our aircraft. And let's face it, all of us pilots are really good at breaking aircraft. We fly almost 200 sorties here a day, and our maintainers produce world-class aircraft that are able to go out and conduct the mission each and every day, and they make it look effortless, and it is not. So a round of applause for amazing maintainers. And third is our amazing men and women of the medical and support groups. Defenders, services, finance, MPF, dental, and flight medicine airmen, just to name a few. The wings you are about to receive would not be possible without their support and dedication to the mission, and I know they are just as proud of you as I am. On behalf of all of Team Vance, I want to say congratulations on becoming a military aviator. It is now my distinct privilege to introduce our guest speaker for today, Brigadier General Brett Paola. General Paola commissioned through the Officer Training School and graduated from Vance in 1995 as part of Class 9506. He has served for over 30 years in a variety of rescue, fighter, and leadership assignments throughout the Air Force and the world. General Paola currently serves as the mobilization assistant to the commander, Alaskan North American Aerospace Defense Command Region, the Commander Alaskan Command, and the Commander 11th Air Force. We were joking before, he may have the longest duty title of any graduation speaker I've hosted. General Paola advises on all military activities in the Alaskan Joint Operations Area, synchronizing the efforts of more than 21,000 total force personnel. General Paola began his career flying H-860 as a rescue pilot in Portland, Oregon, before transitioning to the F-16, and he was the first traditional reservist to pilot an F-16 in an Air Force aggressor squadron. He also led the total force integration of the F-22 as initial cadre at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson. We are thrilled to have General Paola here today to visit with Team Vance and share his insight on the total force and to provide his perspective on a theater in which many of our graduates will serve as we enter great power competition. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Brigadier General Paola.
Well, good morning. They say the longer the title, the less important you are. As Throck mentioned, my connection to Vance is I graduated in Class 9506 with Tiger Bakken sitting back there, a lifelong friend. It's a fantastic opportunity, and I'm excited to be here and participate in this. I'd like to thank the Honorable David Mason, his wife Melanie. It's great to see that our civic leaders are providing the bedrock for Vance to continue to produce its awesome aviators, so thank you for that. Colonel Throckmorton and your wife Brooke, I've been around this base a lot. It is running fantastic. It's much better than when I left it, largely due to your leadership. Congratulations on that. It's excellent. Finally, Chief Harvey McReynolds and Master Sergeant Christine McReynolds. The modern American military runs on the backs of the senior NCOs, and our success is vital to your leadership and at your level. So thank you for that, and we appreciate you representing today. We also are excited to be speaking with members of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as well as Vietnam, our partners. That makes it a truly international effort, and you can expect the United States to be moving forward in that vein from now on. When Throck offered me this opportunity to come here today, I jumped at the chance, because where else am I going to get a way to crush so many souls, hopes, and dreams in one fell swoop? Right here. And Throck, I'm sorry, I'm pretty ad-lib, so I'm sure you're going to wish the soup of the day was tequila by the time I'm done here. You know? If there's any psychiatrists or psychologists in the room, sharpen your pencils, because here we go. Congratulations to Class 2508. I have to keep looking down at that number because I don't believe it. I mean, half of you were not born when I graduated. It is awesome. today represents a hallmark of you becoming a pilot, but because the Air Force employs its combat power through airplanes, you are also our newest combat leaders, and that starts right now. 11 June 2007, I had just come off of my last combat tour in the F-16, and I was flying as a MiG-1. And for those of you that don't know it, we change over and we become the bad guys. We learn enemy tactics and we replicate them for presentation so our Blue Air Forces can learn how to fight against them. And I was leading a mission of some 200 airplanes. It's a big exercise called Red Flag. And I was in my jet. Well, hang on a minute. It's a crew chief's jet. I was in it and it had my name on it. I should make sure that I qualify that. But at any rate, I was in my jet in a Red Flag, and I was shot immediately as long as my wingman. It's the first time and the only time a fighter pilot will ever be happy that he has been shot. And we were kill removing, which means we're trying to get out of the fight. And we're trying to do it in an orderly fashion that will be safe. And I have a certain altitude block and a certain place I'm supposed to be. And I think I'm in that block where I'm supposed to be. Minding my own business, importantly. About the time I get comfortable listening to the fight, my wingman says, "Hey, lead, rock off this F-15, he called me an Eagle, he's converting on you." And what that means, folks, is he's running an attack on me. And so I'm supposed to rock my wings, which will make the airplane do this, and that visually can tell this guy in this big exercise, "Hey, I'm already dead, go pick on someone your own size," kind of thing. So I look over my shoulder, and I see him, and I already recognize it is too late. He is going to hit me. As I mentioned before, I'm a hardcore combat killer at this point, and I roll and squish up. "Oh, geez, don't hit me, chicken." Sure enough, he does. Takes off the, the left half of my left, or the far outside of my left wing, which is probably the distance from here to the general officer flag. That's how close he was. He's doing about 1.2 Mach or 800 miles an hour. And I immediately look over my other shoulder because he goes by me, and what I see is this gigantic ball of flame in this airplane with its nose poking out of it immediately goes out of control. I see it sort of spin around, the nose drops, debris flies off of the airplane, and then it kind of just corkscrews into the undercast. No chute, no ejection. Well, I have to compartmentalize that information for a minute because I got my own problems on my hands. I got to maintain aircraft control, right? Analyze the situation, take appropriate action. Land as soon as conditions permit. I was able to hold on to the airplane. Luckily, I've got an awesome wingman with me, and we get a knock it off going, which means we're stopping the war. Everybody kind of go to your respective corners, and then some 200 odd airplanes on their own are supposed to gather up their formations, assess their fuel, and then recover the airplanes either at home base or somewhere else, all by their lonesome. It's ad hoc and it's busy. So while all that's going on, my wingman and I are working through this, so I've got a hold of the airplane right now, and now I'm analyzing the situation, and that analysis went something like this. Yep, the wing's missing. Confirmed. I had my wingman rejoin on me and do what we call a battle damage check. You all know what that is, where we have your wingman kind of look over the airplane and make sure that what I think is happening is what is actually happening. He said, "Yep, your wing's missing." Good news, correct analysis. I haven't been put down and stand up yet. I might get to fly for the rest of the day. So we go through this whole process of slowing the airplane down and reconfiguring it for landing. It's called a controllability check. And you got to get it slowed down, see if you can land it. And we do it over a safe area, so if it doesn't work out, I punch out and then give the airplane back to the taxpayer, you. But if it works out, I get to land it. Long story short, we go through this big rigmarole, and I land the airplane, and I taxi off. And then I am swarmed with people trying to help me make sure I'm okay and to secure that airplane. Crash rescue, the crew chiefs, medical, everybody is all over me. I'm telling them I'm okay, and I'm running the canopy up, and a ladder, aluminum ladder, hits the side of the airplane like somebody's going to come up there and clean my gutters. And this guy comes running up the ladder. He's like, "Sir, you okay? I'm ready to get you out of there." And this big old boy, and I'm like, "Oof, no, I can just climb down the ladder, man. We're good." I was a little shaky, I'm going to admit it, but we got in there, immediately put in the ambulance, zoomed off to the medical squadron, where I got more medical attention than anyone could ever want. And then they put me in this room, and they have to isolate you because they don't want to have your story polluted so they can just do an accident investigation, make sure it doesn't happen again. And I'll tell you something. I sat there for an hour and a half by myself, which was what was likely a two-way mirror and people YouTubing me on the other side. But you will find out if you think you're out of your block and you killed somebody, who you are. It was tough. And then I heard some of the best leadership I have ever, I gotta say heard, happen. Now, I don't have the best Southern accent, but y'all have to work with me a little bit here because this is what it sounded like. I'm Bo Marzoff. I'm the commander of the 64th Aggressors. I got to go see my boy. That's my boss, right? I just got to put eyes on him. He knows he's not supposed to talk to me, see? And he talks his way past the first barrier. Hey, you can't talk to him. Oh, I just got to see him. You're going to be all right. You'll be fine. And he does this 3 or 4 times. It's amazing. Finally, he pokes his head around the corner, gives me a look. Stitch. Cuss word, cuss word. Looks like you're okay. That is awesome. Glad to hear it. And oh, by the way, you were in your block. It ain't your fault. I will never forget those words. It ain't your fault. Imagine the amount of relief that rolled over me when I realized that I wasn't the reason why that person was dead. That was an amazing piece of combat leadership right there. He knew what I needed to hear, and he took a risk getting me that information. I guess we got time for a sidebar here. I have to be under 40 minutes? 45. So turns out the other guy lived, the other pilot, which is awesome. I actually wound up flying Raptors with him later. And his story's even more harrowing than mine. He's sitting in an environment kind of like this. He never sees me. And he runs me over, and as I roll, I put that missile on the end of the wing, and it hits almost right in the center of his airplane, and it goes through his airplane like a wire through cheese. He said all he did was feel it, and he looked down, and he saw the ground. So here he is, Mach 1.2 at 30,000 feet, and he looks down, and he sees the ground. So what's he do? He does the right thing. He ejects, which is what I saw happen when that airplane, that nose went down, all that debris was flying off. It was his ejection sequence. What I didn't recognize and wasn't able to process is those seats won't open up till about 15,000 feet, so you don't hang up there and freeze to death. And so he free falls into the weather before his chute opens. Now imagine that. In the course of 30 seconds, you're sitting here somewhere like this, wishing this speed was over, and then the next thing you know, you are falling through the air into the clouds with no parachute over your head. Amazingly, there were 2 HH-60s, my old tribe, were flying, just happened to be in the area. They picked him up, and he was in the hospital only 5 minutes later than I was, which is unbelievable. Normally, you would expect to spend a day out there. So, happy story, he lived. Maybe 1-2 days later, I go out to admire my handiwork. You know, I landed this airplane, me. Missing wing, actually tail was missing. I get out there, and what I am struck with was something totally different. That airplane is covered with boot prints in places you wouldn't expect a boot to go, handprints. There is evidence of every bit of care and feeding that an airplane in that situation would need. And what strikes me at that point is the massive support that was levied simply to get me out of the airplane safely and then to secure that airplane. You see, because airplanes are what we do to do combat power, the entirety of the Air Force, and that means you, every single one of us, are there to support those airplanes. And by virtue of that, they're supporting you directly because you're the operators of it. I'm the one gleaning all the glory, if you will. My wingman, T-Bone Robbins, who I called regularly, saved my life at least twice that day. Told me to rock off the F-15, and then another time, after we had done the battle damage check, it's amazing. The airport's right there, and I'm going to fly an entire arrival away from the airfield. He's like, what are you doing, dummy? The airport's right there. And I'll never forget this. I actually look over and see the airport where my wing should be. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I'll go there. T-Bone. Nobody said boo to him. All right? My point here is there's so many people working so hard, and they are so proud to serve those airplanes, but by virtue of that, that even a well-timed, hey, you're okay and you didn't do it, is worth everything to them. So take that with you, please. Secondarily, now that you're all winged up and such, you're going to be going off to your different tribes. And that means you're going to learn a new culture. Now, you've heard it in the Air Force. I've heard, oh, you don't know anything yet. That's garbage. Every single one of you right now could be in the middle of a fight, knock it off, get your formation together, go over a point, figure out if you got the gas, how everybody else is doing, and make a decision whether or not you are going to go to that home base or somewhere else. You can all do that right now. Very few people in the world can really do that. Every single one of you can have a midair, hold on to the airplane, and either be a wingman or the actual person, do a battle damage check, and bring that airplane back. Right? We've all had that training, every single one of you. So you don't have to listen to that. My point here is that have the confidence and the courage of your convictions. Make a decision in the air and act on it. You know what you're doing. And finally, most importantly, be a combat leader. Because you're combat leaders, eventually you are going to hold combat commands. And as a commander, you are going to be deciding situations for people that may be unfavorable to them. Now look at me. This is important. The people that you serve with right now are great Americans. Less than 0.5% of the country serves in the military. And you owe it to them to consider the whole situation and provide them the leadership that they need. I know this is a busy time, and I know it's a celebration, but please remember that. They are great Americans. Never, ever get in a situation where you are used to being around such greatness, because it's going to fade. I say to you, congratulations. These are hard won, and this is a significant milestone. 2508, you should be proud of what you're doing. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do in the future. And congratulations on your accomplishment. I look forward to seeing quality leadership from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Brigadier General Paola. Captain Brandon Oliver from Class 2508 would like to present you with a small token of appreciation for being a part of this special occasion.
Head out of the cockpit? All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's awesome.
We will now recognize individuals who excelled in one or more phases of training. The new pilots competed for academic, leadership, and flying training awards, as well as the top wingman, distinguished graduate, and the coveted AETC Commander's Trophy. Each phase of training was carefully weighed, and only a slight margin separated the top performers. Colonel DeLumba will present the Academic Excellence Award to the pilots whose overall academic test averages exceeded those of their peers. Of note, 4 XPW students all tied with perfect 100% scores. The first recipient of the academic award is Captain Brandon N. Oliver.
Well done. Congratulations. Please come on down and take pictures. You can get out of your seat, come on down. We can even retake it. Captain Oliver. Captain Oliver, come back up. We're going to get some pictures. Yes.
The second recipient of the academic award is Second Lieutenant Aaron A. Artega. The third recipient of the academic award is Second Lieutenant Rachel J. Becker. The fourth recipient of the academic award is Second Lieutenant Jackson F. Jefferson. The fifth recipient of the academic award is Second Lieutenant Kyle A. McCoy. The sixth and final recipient of the academic award is Second Lieutenant Trenton T. Turner.
Lieutenant Colonel McCreary will present the Leadership Award. The Leadership Award is presented to the officers who demonstrated outstanding leadership qualities and potential throughout this most rigorous and demanding military training program. The first recipient of the Leadership Award is Second Lieutenant Thomas A. Ledette. Congratulations. The second recipient of the Leadership Award is Captain Brandon N. Oliver.
Colonel Bissonette will present the Flying Training Award. The Flying Training Award is presented to the pilots whose daily flying performance and check ride scores exceeded those of their peers. The first recipient of the Flying Training Award is Captain Brandon N. Oliver.
Good time.
The second recipient of the Flying Training Award is Second Lieutenant Eric J. Wyatt.
Colonel Throckmorton will present the Top Wingman Award. Selected by their peers, the Top Wingman Award is presented to the graduates who epitomize the support and teamwork critical to being a great wingman. The first recipient of the Top Wingman Award is Second Lieutenant Aaron A. Ortega. Thank you for your leadership. The second recipient of the Top Wingman Award is Second Lieutenant Jackson F. Jefferson.
Colonel Throckmorton will present the distinguished graduates. To be selected for this honor, a student must maintain an exceptionally high average in all phases of training and finish in the top 10% of the class. The first distinguished graduate is Captain Brandon N. Oliver.
Well done.
The second distinguished graduate is Second Lieutenant Ramian S. Matura. The third distinguished graduate is Second Lieutenant Eric J. Wyatt.
Well done. Finally, the most prestigious trophy that Air Education and Training Command presents to a pilot training graduate is the AETC Commander's Trophy. This pilot excelled in both flying and academics and demonstrated the initiative and leadership qualities essential to the professional Air Force officer. Additionally, they personify the tenets of the Order of the Dedalians, a group dedicated to military aviation, personal integrity, and patriotism. Brigadier General Payola will present this special award reserved for the officers who attain the highest overall rating throughout their programs. The first winner of the AETC Commander's Trophy is Captain Brandon N. Oliver. Well done. Congratulations. The second winner of the AETC Commander's Trophy is Second Lieutenant Eric J. Wyatt. Well done. Congratulations.
At this time, Colonel Throckmorton would like to recognize the instructor pilots selected by Class 2508, who most embodied the Air Force core values during the T1 and T6 training and provided exceptional mentorship and instruction. Colonel Throckmorton will present the recipients with a plaque in recognition of their hard work. Receiving the award from the 3rd Flying Training Squadron and unable to attend today's ceremony is Captain Michael Knoll. Receiving the award on his behalf is Captain Tanner Engel. Receiving the award from the 33rd Flying Training Squadron, Captain Waverly Hawk.
Hey, thank you very much.
Receiving the award from the 33rd Flying Training Squadron, First Lieutenant Drew Ness. This concludes the awards portion of the ceremony. And now the time that we've all been waiting for. Colonel Throckmorton will formally present the diplomas and the pilot wings to our graduates. As they exit the stage, they will receive a commemorative coin with their unique graduation number from the 71st Student Squadron First Sergeant, Master Sergeant Christina Annabelle. The new pilots' families and friends are invited to pin on the Air Force wings following the graduation ceremony.
Having completed the required course of training, the following officers from Class 2508 are awarded the aeronautical rating of Air Force Pilot. Just a second. Captain Brandon N. Oliver.
Captain Hong Pham.
Congratulations. Second Lieutenant Cale J. Allen.
Second Lieutenant Yusef Saad M. Alatabi.
Congratulations. Second Lieutenant Jaden C. Anderson. Congratulations.
Second Lieutenant Aaron A. Artega.
Congratulations. Second Lieutenant Casey L. Ayer. Well done.
Second Lieutenant Amina Bechirovich.
Congratulations. Second Lieutenant Rachel J. Becker. Congratulations.
Second Lieutenant Justin M. Brush.
Congratulations. Second Lieutenant James M. Burke. Congratulations.
Second Lieutenant Mary G. Cortese.
Congratulations. We're proud of you. Second Lieutenant Jason D. Egoff. Well done.
Second Lieutenant Michael E. Fosnot.
Congratulations. Second Lieutenant Jackson F. Jefferson. Congratulations.
Second Lieutenant Stephen N. Kidd.
Congratulations. Second Lieutenant Kendra R. Croker.
Second Lieutenant Thomas A. Ledette.
Second Lieutenant Frederick M. Lenahan. Congratulations.
Second Lieutenant Kyle A. McCoy.
Well done. Congratulations. Second Lieutenant Ramian Matura. Congrats.
Second Lieutenant Devin R. Metcalf.
Well done. Congratulations. Second Lieutenant Maxwell N. Malwood. Congrats.
Second Lieutenant Tyson N. Packer.
Congratulations. Second Lieutenant Isaiah L. Redmond. Congratulations.
From West Virginia. Congrats to me. Second Lieutenant Desmond C. Rowe.
Second Lieutenant Taylor S. Rowan. Congratulations.
Second Lieutenant Trenton T. Turner.
Second Lieutenant Eric J. Wyatt. Congratulations.
To complete today's ceremony, Colonel Throckmorton will present Class 2508.
Pinch foot, about face. It's my honor to introduce the Air Force's newest military aviators.